All right, welcome back. Welcome back, everyone, for episode 3 of this amazing podcast that I think only like 3 people listen to. So shout out to them early on, so you guys don't have to sit through an hour of BS to hear your names being called out. Tim, Max, Brian, thanks for watching, guys. We got an amazing show for you today, right? Right, guys? As always.
Yep,
Yes.
always.
Oh yeah, but we're gonna kick it off with the lore master over here. Roger, you have 60 seconds. Tell us what's happening with Tarkir Dragonstorm.
So Tarkir Dragonstorm, the main story is actually over, but they did release a couple of side stories. But there's one that I really want to talk about because it was very interesting. It was the Teamer clan, and normally when you think about those colors, you think warriors, you think pride, you think that they're doing things for the people. But it was very interesting because they painted this dark overtone or undertone coupled with the story where they showed that during their time under their evil dragon overlord, they were actually stealing from each other, killing each other, and at some points even eating each other, which was very crazy to read in a magic story. But at the end, the hero Eshki figures out how to get rid of their curse, which is kind of like something that happened in like the real world where an entire society has to kind of forget their past, forget their tribulations, go into like forgiveness mode in order to then be able to move forward. So it was a really beautiful story, and if you haven't read any of the side stories, highly recommend to go check it out on the Magic website under Magic Stories. You'll find all of those side stories. But yeah, that's it for me.
Thank you, thanks Roger, for the Tarkir, and let's hope the stories with that is over. Just kidding. No, I mean it's great. People love. This is a magic story, but let's give what the people really want. Okay, there's
Alright.
another whole universe into magic. Some may even call it a universe beyond, if you will.
Oh,
So hit us up with some huge announcement in Magic recently. Multiverses colliding, and I think there's like a sponge that lives under the sea. Hit us up with the story of SpongeBob. Go ahead, Roger. You got 10 seconds.
All right, so I was fortunate enough to have a kid growing up that just loved SpongeBob, absolutely loved it. So SpongeBob is a funny story about a little sponge and his adventures with his friends. It's really cool. It's really super, I want to say, out there in the world of like imagination. So if you could consider someone that uses their imagination to its fullest, and that's what a SpongeBob is. It's like what can be imagined is imagined, and it's so much fun. So yeah, this is
What's
the
this?
secret
What's
lair.
the story though? What's the story? Like, what is he? Tell us the origin story. Like, where does he come from? What does he do? What's his purpose?
What's his special power?
Yeah, like, how is he gonna
Well,
defeat the evil crab or whatever, the squid?
they're actually, it all takes place in Bikini Bottom, right? Which is this place under the sea, and there isn't actually an inherent story other than than the fact that SpongeBob is ready. The whole story revolves around maybe one of the happiest like think individuals you could think of, right? So there's nothing that can ever come towards SpongeBob's way, whereas like he cannot overcome. And then he just like his main dream, his main goal is to work at the Krusty Krab so he can make a Krusty Burger, and that's it. And but everything
Hell
else
yeah!
around him like breaks into chaos because no one is as chipper as SpongeBob.
Not
So
even Patrick.
not even
Look
Patrick,
at
because
him.
Patrick I love this because Patrick has no abilities because he has like what we call a smooth brain or no brain at all, right? He's
Smooth
just like the
brain. Yeah, I know
really
about the
slow
smooth brains.
guy.
He
But
doesn't have wrinkles in his brain.
he's SpongeBob's best friend, and they just go on adventures together because Patrick really doesn't know any better, so he just goes and he loves SpongeBob. But SpongeBob also like is just like willing to just do anything. So they're like two peas in a pod. It's really awesome. But I love that he's a what 7 mana 6/5 do nothing.
It's not just 7 mana, dude. You gotta play 2 red and a black.
It's so
Bark
perfect. I
Tooth
Okay.
feel
Warbeard. All right, so let
That's
me
one of the
just.
old. That's one of the old creatures from Legends.
Yeah, well,
Those bad vanilla Legends.
let me just let you guys know. What the hell's that? What was that?
Sorry,
I said
that
no
was fun.
music.
Oh yeah, but that one had to be played.
That
That was
okay? Can you play the SpongeBob theme?
that was the
Oh,
SpongeBob
go
theme.
for it. Hit us with the SpongeBob theme,
Oh,
Jared.
it was just it was. That's it. That's SpongeBob
Ah, okay.
SquarePants.
All
There you
right.
go.
Good,
Okay,
good,
that's
good,
all.
good. Thank you, Jared. Thanks for the contributions to the pod. Okay, so I'm gonna update you guys on real quick on what just happened. So the SpongeBob Secret Lair dropped yesterday on Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern, and they didn't really they really barely spoiled all the other stuff, but it dropped with like nine secret. I don't know if exactly nine, but like 6 or 9 secret layers or something like that. So, um, we all knew SpongeBob was gonna be super super popular. Right now we're still in like the bull market of TCG, so people will buy everything and anything you throw at them. Like that cats and dogs thing sold out immediately, and they're going for like 80-90 bucks each right now. And so bunch of stuff came out in Secret Lair. But let me just show you before we get into it this masterpiece of a Secret Lair, guys. It's called Class of '87. I mean, look at Chulane right here. Just what a dude, right? Like this is Chulane when he was in high school, right?
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, and I don't even know what card this is. SC Tyrant of Gyre Straight. Like is this is it's the dragon, it's the serpent that is the creature here, not the person under the serpent suit, but apparently it is it was actually a person all along. That's what they look like in high school. We have Anya Falconrath. I know this card. And this is Anya. She was a cheerleader in high school. And then we have Rodhug, Heart of Cows. Like, look at the art. Look at the art. It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, so lifelike, so realistic. It's amazing. What do you think about this Secret Lair? It's awesome, right? It's so awesome that they printed so much that they can't sell this one out. Not because nobody's buying it, but solely because they just anticipated so much demand that they overprinted that Secret Lair.
Apparently.
Yeah. Anyway, so huge crisis, as you can imagine, website crashes, 2-hour, 3-hour lines, line gets paused, people skipping lines, maybe, allegedly. And then by the time you get out of the line, products sold out. So you can't get anything.
Was it all SpongeBob?
No.
Was that the first one sold out?
No, you know what? It was not the first one sold out. Great question, Jared. No, and that's a legitimate question, right, Jared?
And was it the because I got emails to the Toon one and the dragon and the what's her name? Kalia
The
and Kalia
Toon
too, right?
one was, so I think there were 3. Yes, Toon one, Dragon one, and the Kalia one sold out before SpongeBob. Now, I have a theory as to why I think that they print these in different amounts based on how much they anticipate the demand to be. And I think they rightfully so anticipated SpongeBob demand to be incredibly high, and why wouldn't they want to capitalize on making as much money as possible, right? Capitalism. So they print the shit out of SpongeBob. And in fact, even this morning, the non-foil SpongeBob had three releases, right? So there was the land one, the meme one, and then there's just like the legendary creature one. So that legendary creature one did not sell out until this morning for non-foil. I think the meme and the land sold out the fastest, and you only get 2 lands per layer, 2 of each land.
They only used to do 1 of each.
They only used to one, but yeah. Well, when they had the vagina land, they gave you 5.
But you could only buy island, right. and you get
the Vagiland.
The Vagilans, yeah.
Yes, yeah. I didn't come up with that. Somebody else did. I think it was Josh from Hometown TCG. So shout out to Josh. He never watches our stuff anyway.
I actually really liked those because they're supposed to look like 20s cartoons or whatever.
This is Tom and Jerry, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
But where's the mouse?
Or there's always the cat. There's a dog in Tom and Jerry. His name's like Bruto, not Pluto. But there's a game that had really.
Yes, Cuphead.
Cuphead. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Cuphead looked a lot like this too.
It did.
I don't know if the artist had anything to do with
Well,
Cuphead at
is
all,
it the
but
same artist?
it might be. Yeah,
Desmond Cubic?
but I really liked these, and I think they're even pretty easy to read considering how full art they are. But man, like what like cruddy cards they picked for that one.
Wait, you think it's
Um,
Roger was saying these are playable cards, right, Roger?
Young,
Yeah.
I mean, Silence, yes. Winds of Abandon, yes.
Fatal Push is
And
played.
then Fatal, it's fair. Fatal Push is decent, but Young Wolf in a very like could only be in very specific decks, and it's just to abuse like sacking them and bringing them back infinitely. Uh, and calling the weak again, really, it's a really specific like Dark Ritual
If
card.
only it was Dark
Uh,
Ritual.
yeah, that's true. That would be different,
Dude,
right?
you know that Dark Ritual Secret Lair they released a couple years ago? It was like the skeleton head Dark Ritual. Man, that thing's worth so much.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah.
You know what this reminds me of right here? This Winds of Abandon art. You know, you've been to Disneyland recently, right? It's that Mickey's Runaway Railroad, and like it's like the art
All
reminds me of this.
the whole art is like that all of that the way that Mickey looks in that, and there's a Mickey series that came out recently that all has that art style
This
too.
art style, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was a very popular one, and I want to get your opinion on the Kalia one.
I think
It sold out. It was very popular. Sold out very fast. What do you think about Kalia with the thigh tattoo?
I mean, I like well, because this is the tragic romance. Yeah, so it's not all Kalia, right?
No, but come on.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Yeah,
what are
it's,
these
yeah,
guys? Master of
Master of
Cruelties?
Cruelties. It's an old. He was a popular commander card. Um,
Skitherix?
Skittles. They call him Skittles.
Skittles?
Uh, yeah, but yeah, he's a infect
Wow, this is a
dragon.
good creature, though. 5
Yeah, it's a
mana,
very
4/4 flying infect, and then you just have one more to give it haste and regen. It's really
Yeah,
good. And Kalia is in the picture.
yeah. That in all of them, they tell stories. So it's
Well, she's not. This
no,
isn't
but
Kalia.
that's Angel of Despair hugging Master of Cruelties, and the other one's Master of
Yes.
Cruelties kissing the angel.
Oh, they're about to kiss.
Yes,
They're not
yes.
kissing. That
It's
you
a
have to use your
tragic-
imagination.
Yes.
Just
Or
like you have to,
maybe it's
you
in a
have to just use. You also have to use your imagination on what Kalia is doing with Skittles here. Kalia is not an angel and not a demon, yet she has demonic bat-like wings.
You know, I actually didn't notice until the other picture, the Skitherix picture. I didn't know she has angel and demon wings.
Ah, interesting, right? But she's
Yeah, I didn't know.
not, or they're dragon
Yeah.
wings because she brings
Oh, yeah,
angels or
yeah.
dragons into play, right?
Oh, that's why they did
Anyway,
that.
this
But
one's
yeah,
really popular. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
they did not print nearly enough for the demand. I think this is going to be worth a lot of money. BK's very sad he didn't get one. BK will never hear this. He'll never watch this.
Okay, hold on, right here.
And then finally, we got SpongeBob shit. Oh, the dragon one. I was really
dragons.
surprised by the dragons that it sold out.
They're not that expensive. Like they weren't a lot of valuable dragons. But they're decent pictures.
Okay.
But the value's not there.
I didn't think that the pictures, like the baby one, like they're not that big of a
Oh,
difference.
that's the most valuable one. Sorry, that one's actually valuable.
Jamocha?
Yeah, because it makes it so your opponent can't cast. Your stuff can't get countered anymore.
People do like stuff where your opponents can't cast spells on your turn. I love stuff like that. Oh, they're pretty good though. Other creatures you control have haste and blah blah blah.
They're
blah.
in any dragon deck. All of those are very playable.
I guess
And
it's just like the
dragon-
timing is really good because
Yeah, with the dragons coming.
Because-
All the dragons
yeah.
coming up.
and then one last thing they they had a bundle. They called it the largest bundle ever or whatever, and it was $2,000, and you got 4 of everything.
Oh,
That bundle sold out very quickly. Biggest bundle ever. See, it was $2,000, but you can't see the price here anymore. But and you literally got four of each foil and 4 of each non-foil. And
Oh
and
my
and you
God.
know what? The best one yet is you get 4 of the class of '87 ones foil, and then another 4 Class 87 non-foil. Like ultimate value right there.
What's the resale value here? So you spend this much
So
money.
so I calculated, right? So it's 2,000, and assuming you have 10% tax, is $2,200. There's 72 secret layers here, so it comes out to be a little under $31 per secret layer, which is actually really, really good, given that the foil ones retail for $40 before tax, so $44 after tax. But with this bundle, you get it for under 31 after tax for everything.
How much are the
including that class of 86, which that one is gonna spike hard.
How much are the non-foil? How much?
They're 30. They're 30 before tax, so it's 33 after tax. So this bundle you get, you're even saving, but you got to drop $2,200.
Yeah. Wow.
So anyway, very interesting. We'll see if they continue to do more big bundles like that. All right, let's move on. We don't want to keep, we got to move this, get the show on the road. I want to talk about the lands in Tarkir Dragonstorm. So a lot of spoilers. A lot of the commander decks have been spoiled. I think people are really crazy about the, is it the Abzan deck or the commander deck or the Sultai one? I don't know. One of them. Very people like that a lot. But I don't want to focus on the commander decks. They seem good, popular. But I want to talk about this land cycle they have here. And then also let me know if there's any other cards you guys want to bring up. But really quickly, this land cycle is very interesting. Okay, so there's one for each color. This land enters tap unless you control an island or swamp, which is interesting, right? Because you could control like a shock land, a dual land, or one of those surveil lands, and they will come into play untapped. Or if you have Overlord of the Hauntwoods, which creates that land that's every type. So those lands will all come in untapped. Okay, they only add one color, but they all have an ability. Okay, we'll just right off the bat, let's talk about the blue one.
Yeah.
For 1 mana, your next spell can't be countered. What do you guys think about this? Do you think it's going to be worth a lot? Do you think it's going to be played in any format?
Yeah, it's both. Worth a lot and played.
Okay, well, that settles it.
Yeah, if you play it, and if you're playing a 2-color deck, there's no reason, that you probably, I guess a two-color deck you could pull it off. But 2 or 3, because I forgot that it counts both land types. So if you're playing... what are the colors?
It's Abzan, Forest Mountain.
Okay. Gotcha. But so if you're playing Abzan, or if you're playing blue red or blue green, so Simic or is it? If you're playing any of those combinations or mono blue, there's almost no reason not to play it. It's rarely going to come into play tap.
You talking about like commander or just anywhere, anything?
I mean, definitely. Sorry, I'm always thinking about commander, but
right, because you're Mr. Commander over here.
Yeah, but definitely in commander, if you're playing against another deck with blue in it and you're worried about your spell getting countered and there was no drawback to playing it, why not have it in your deck? That's why, and therefore it's going to have high demand because people are going to want to put it in a ton of their decks because there's no drawback.
Basically, any commander deck with blue.
Yeah, and then but definitely I could see with those same colors in modern or even in standard or anything if there's a strong counter meta going on.
Or a sideboard.
Yeah.
Because I was running, what's that cave? The cave that makes Cavern. Yeah, there we go, Cavern of Souls. I was running that in the sideboard. So if you match up against a blue deck, but that only does it for creatures and of one specific type, whereas this is any spell. So actually, wow, now I'm talking about it as crazy.
Yeah, and one of the reasons in Commander Cavern of Souls is so popular is people will put it in literally any deck because they don't actually care about their deck being typeable. They're just playing it so their commander doesn't get countered. So they just have to choose their commander's creature type. That's it.
But this will make your whatever spell you're casting cost 2 more to cast, though.
That's true. But the Cavern in a deck where you do that has the drawback of mostly being a colorless land, but they're still willing to play it to protect their commander from a counter.
Oh, interesting. Roger, thoughts?
Yeah, it not only reads super powerful, it's something that you want to be doing in all formats. Modern especially, I think is gonna just want that card specifically. You have Amulet Titan that can fetch for this thing, right? and then it'll come into play on tap regardless, because they play Amulet, you know. So that's already one home, and that's one deck that's gonna definitely use it. But I think in all formats, having a 1 mana ability that allows you to play the most crucial spell for the turn without contention, like, it's so good. So I think this is going to be one of those things that's going to make either the set really sell, or this is just going to be that chase card. Like, it's already 20 bucks.
So,
Man.
well, okay, 18 at Card Kingdom, which is surprising. It's lower at Card Kingdom than TCG Player. So, what price? Give me a price estimate on this one.
Wait, but how long? Right after it comes
Like
out,
when
or
it
in a few
settles.
months?
When it settles. Well, how about both?
Okay, when it comes out, it's going to go up a little bit more. But when it settles,
A little more than 18.
it's
You mean?
I was going to say 18.
Settles around 18 or 20ish.
I was going to say at least 18.
Okay, but like just Cavern of Souls is we're talking like almost 40.
Yeah, I think it's going to settle like around like
30?
50, or like.
You think it's gonna be worth more
what-
than Cavern of Souls?
Cavern can be played in any color deck. That's the reason Cavern's going to be worth
Cavern
more.
is like almost 40. It's like that's a moderately played. So lightly played is like 38.
Oh, yeah, and you know what? And Cavern also, I know Eldrazi's supposed to be a pretty strong archetype in Modern right now, and that how powerful is that for an Eldrazi deck?
Holy crap! I just thought of something. Cavern of Souls in a dragon deck is like a must play.
It's a must play in any
tribal.
any tribal,
Or almost any deck. Yeah. So this card is gonna go up, Cavern. It's in standard legal.
So Eugene, if you just think about standard, right, and you think about the deck that just won the Pro Tour,
It's the breach combo.
No,
No, it's not Modern. Sorry, I was thinking Modern.
for standard, right? It's the one with the overlords and up the beanstalk, right?
Yeah.
It already plays blue, and the way that it doesn't die to like those very rush heavy forward attacking creatures, is it plays a board wipe, right? But then if you try to meta against it, one of the main things you could do against the board wipe is counter. Well, now you can't counter their board wipe, and they have
But
enough
the board
mana.
wipe costs 2 more to cast.
I don't think that matters because they're also casting what is the overlord that makes an extra land? So they're ramping.
Yeah, the green one. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so they're already ramping.
Well, what
So that
happens
deck's-
when Beanstalk gets banned, as you foresaw?
if Beanstalk gets banned, does this card get better? I mean, like, so let's put it in another blue-red deck that might rise in the meta. What about the Oculus deck? Already plays blue. You want ways to get your Oculus in to play. So you're gonna possibly play this spell.
Oculus
I
deck.
think-
I need that deck to do well. Yeah, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay.
So
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Mhm.
Finish it.
yeah,
Finish it.
so maybe it's worth like trying to see what top decks in every meta have and use blue, and this may be just a one of in all those decks.
Yeah. How many would you run in your deck? 1, 2?
That's interesting. Possibly 2, but I think that it depends on the gameplay of the deck, because some decks don't want a tap land because they need that land 1 to come in untap or land 2 to come in untap.
But it's blue, right? So you're not. It's not like you're playing.
I mean, if your land base is good, it won't ever come into play tapped.
True.
Yeah, it needs specifically a mountain or forest because it's
Yeah.
a team or color land.
Yeah.
Right. So you gotta.
but-
So you gotta
And
play
you know
it
it,
in-
and I'm sorry. I said that it could get played in mono blue. So mono blue is a bad choice for it, actually.
Right. But they'll probably still
I mean,
play it.
you can tap 1. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So what about the other lands? Any other ones stand out, or they just all suck and it's more for limited? Surveil 2 for green. Black is exiled.
That's way
I think
too
the
expensive
black.
to cast.
I think the black. Okay, for Ketramos. Okay, or just Graveyard Hate as a sideboard, or maybe you can even main deck it because Graveyard.
It only can do your graveyard though. It can only do your graveyard.
Oh, Ketramos. Okay.
No, the land. I'm saying you say
Yeah.
graveyard hate. It can't be a graveyard. It hates your graveyard.
Oh, and it's
so.
only a creature. Oh my god, it's horrible. Okay, what? So what do you guys think about the other ones?
The green one's too expensive and not a powerful enough ability. The black one's too limiting on your graveyard creature. The red and the white one are okay. Red one is like if you're playing like any sort of control shell, type deck, then keeping all your land open for a counter spell, and then end of turn getting to like basically draw an extra card for the following turn, that's good. But in some a lot of red stuff is so aggressive that you're never gonna have 5 land untapped at the end of the turn. It's only for a
So control
control deck.
red blue control deck.
Yeah.
There currently isn't one in, at least not in standard.
Yeah, again, thinking
Commander.
there's plenty of or like
Yes, there's a
lot of
about
storm
the
decks, storm
commander
decks.
point of view. Oh, storm. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, storm. I mean, yeah, storm and control are big. It's all spellslinger for the usually. So it'll play a lot of instants. So it's really easy to just keep all your land untapped until the end of turn, like until your following turn.
I actually really like this white one. Like, it's so many triggers for a creature
Yeah.
can ETB or sack. Lets you like sack, gives you stuff to sack, because you don't have to sack them until the end step.
Yeah.
This white one's
It's a little expensive, but it's a really good ability to have if you got nothing else for sure.
Yeah. Also good in a
Yeah.
control deck, but you do need another creature to attack with it, right? Because it's only whenever you attack.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a creature, then it's not doing anything.
Yeah, and you can't use them as blockers, right?
Right, correct.
Yeah. But yeah, those are both okay. But I think the green one's the worst, with the black being right behind that. And then I'd say the white one, the red one, and the blue one's the best.
They're all pre-selling for, close to 10, with the blue one being about 20. So very interesting. Jared.
Yeah, and these are really comparable to the ones in Modern Horizon 2 that came out too, which those care about you having the same color land. If it's a blue, then you need to have an island, and it comes into play untapped. And I like pretty much all of those. And some of those I
Do
think
they
have
have
slightly
abilities?
better. Yeah, they're all. It's the same idea, but the caveat at the top is if the land I'm talking about is like a blue producer, then it needs to have an island in play to come into play untapped. So it's better for monocolored decks. But all of those, like blue one is your next spell has improvise. Black the green one's that's you can use your artifacts to help you cast it.
Oh, okay.
So if you're playing artifact, or the green one's one of the best ones, where it's if you have delirium, you could tap 4 and it can turn into any permanent card in your graveyard.
Yeah, that one was wild, bro.
Yeah.
But this is Modern Horizon, so it's not standard legal.
Exactly. But
These are
yeah,
standard.
and that's why I think those are better. But I've slowly put tons of those into a lot of my decks.
Are they worth a lot?
Yeah, like I mean, probably around the $10 range for a lot of them.
That's
But
good.
I don't think any of them are worth as much as what the blue one's gonna be worth.
Damn, this blue one. So $30, Roger? 30? 40? You think
Yeah.
it's gonna be more than Cavern of Souls? So or same $40 for the blue one?
I think it's going to be more, especially because we're coming on to the MagicCon, right? So
You gotta protect Cloud and Sephiroth, right? You can't let them get countered.
yeah, but also like if there is a ban announcement that happens in March 31st, if anything gets banned, right? Then you're looking at new ways to shake up the meta, but also I think everyone's going to want to try this card, so there's going to be a lot of sales on this card already. If not, just digital versions of it are gonna be able to get play tested, but you also want to play test it in paper. So I think the price is gonna be very high on this just to start, and it's gonna stay pretty high because it's just such a cool card to just throw in, and it takes a land slot. It's not very much. So I think it's gonna be expensive.
So this Jeskai Revelation card is pretty cool. Have you guys seen any of the new TDM cards? So basically, and we gotta remember, like, these are the commander ones, these are the standard legal ones. Do you feel like the power level of standard is going to increase a lot? And remember, this is not a Universe Beyond set, so this is just a regular Magic set. Do you think they're pushing the power level of standard?
I mean, even what I was thinking when we were looking at the lands right now, and us talking about how the Modern Horizon ones are better, and I was literally thinking they're probably just trying to be really careful with the power level of these because these are in standard. But it seems like they're not trying to be careful with other cards, so it feels like it's a very mixed bag of like, hey, we're going to be careful here, but this card is pushed. I don't know. It's kind of giving us a little bit of both.
This card is pushed. Maybe Wizards of the Coast is learning because I was listening to another podcast where they were talking about how like Modern Horizons itself, Modern Horizons One really um, warped an entire meta, and then Modern Horizons Two also warped an entire meta, and then Modern Horizons Three, like you can't inject these cards into old metas. There where people kind of want to like keep things. There's a reason why they like the old cards, but you're not just infusing new cards into them like you would like a standard, right? But the good argument with that they were talking about was that they do like it when there's certain cards that can change a meta, but not an entire series of like 300 cards coming in at one in just one flux, right? But what they do like is like, okay, Wizards of the Coast injects maybe like 2 to 5 cards with every set release that have the possibility of shaking up a certain meta, and I think they're nailing it here. I think there's a few cards that can slot into older metas, a few cards that can only slot into commander metas, and then a few cards that'll inject into the standard meta. So I think they're doing a good job at listening to the people who are buying the cards, what they want and what they need, and learning from their mistakes in the past. Like Modern Horizons, for a lot of people, was a mistake. Um, doing too many commander products sometimes feels like a mistake because then like if you're not up to speed with all the commander stuff and continuously buying stuff, then it's kind of play to win situation wise. But injecting things here and there feels like it's more peaceful to people. So I guess that's kind of like my 2 cents on it.
I think power level is gonna be crazy with the Universe Beyond stuff coming out. It's just get ready for a wild ride. I can't wait till end of the year, right? We're gonna be watching Pro Tour standard matches, and it's gonna be like, I cast Cloud. Oh, but I'm gonna web him up with Spider-Man's web slinger, Doc Ock coming through Venom, and then it's gonna be like, oh no, because like Avatar. I don't know anything about Avatar, sorry, but like Avatar's fire magic blocks it with wall of flame or some shit like that. There's like
and then Urza comes in.
Yeah. But hold on, SpongeBob. I counterspell that with my SpongeBob meme. But I guess that wouldn't be in standard. But you know what I mean. Stuff like that. It's gonna be horrible and awesome at the same time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I equip Buster Sword onto Spider-Man, and he's gonna, I don't know, use the chakra from my avatars. I don't know. I mean, I can't do it because I don't know anything about Avatar.
I don't either.
There is one thing that I was thinking about when I was reading the side stories in the Magic arc, and this recent Magic arc, the storyline. And the one thing that I was thinking about was when they were just releasing Magic product after Magic product, they were really fumbling the ball on the Magic storyline. And I think Jared also knows because Jared's also a fan of reading the lore and like keeping up with everything. But they were definitely fumbling the ball on like the storyline and how it was going. But it might not have been the writer's fault that they were putting out products so fast that they needed to develop these stories, and they left a lot of open ends. So when we have these breaks of like injecting different things in between sets, I think it gives the storyline enough time to breathe, the writers enough time to create stories. So that may be one good outcome out of the whole thing, because we're going to get Final Fantasy before we even get the new space set, which gives the writers a lot of time. And of course, they've already worked on this way before this, but it probably gave them that time they needed to like write and continue the storyline with the demand of like having new sets being injected into formats and stuff. So I don't know, my opinion, but
yeah, I agree. I was just on the spoiler note. I was peeking out on myself. I just realized they're reprinting Craterhoof Behemoth in here.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's gonna be wild.
Yeah, that's a pretty big one. I mean, could that even see any sort of standard play? Because it's kind of drop
graveyard
it.
recursion.
Oh yeah, drop it and you win. Basically, I play Brawl all the time, and you don't if they have green in their deck, they're playing Craterhoof Behemoth.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna like off the top of my head, graveyard recursion. people are speculating like elf ball or whatever, like elves, because I think there's like elves
Oh yeah.
with foundations, and they just ramp
Sure.
into it. So anyway, Joe, you gotta run, right? Right before you go, if you've been keeping up, they have announced that there's going to be another Marvel Secret Lair. We don't know when, but
And do we know what IP? Oh, or like
No,
I mean,
just Marvel
but
themed.
sorry. Okay.
And it's
Oh,
going
I
to
see, I
feature
see.
mechanically unique cards. Okay, so another Marvel mechanically unique Secret Lair, which is going to blow up the website as they always do. But this one, you're actually able to purchase them. So you can buy them off of the Secret Lair website, and you can get them in foil and non-foil. But they're also going to be available at your local game stores, non-foil only.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wonder if they'll start doing that with all Secret Lairs.
Who knows, right? Because there's like the whole thing about you can't get the Secret Lairs, cutting out, and then all the store owners are pissed because they're not right. Like they just like everybody else has to go to the Secret Lair website to buy it, and they're limited to however many they limit them to. But of course, there's ways to get around it. You can have multiple accounts and have a bunch of bots or whatever. So anyway,
all right, guys, I have to go.
All right,
that's all great. See you
later.
Peace, Jared. Eugene, on that topic, so I wanted to circle back to the debacle that happened with the Secret Lair and Spongebob, and then the site going down, right? And then kind of like the things that are expected on that. So in selling tickets to, let's say, shows like a Taylor Swift show or like a Jay-Z show or like a Kendrick Lamar show or whatever, right? When you're gonna go buy shows, you're limited to the physical arena or where they're going to perform, right? So you have 1,000 seats, you can only sell 1,000 tickets because it's the only amount of seats you have, and you have to do fire code or whatever like that, right? So it's scarcity, but real scarcity. Do you think that then Wizards of the Coast created their own problem when they decided not to do print on demand Secret Lairs? So now they're only printing a limited set, creating false scarcity, right? So you have to get in these lines and you have to fight against bots that are buying these things. And maybe they should do away with that and go back to the other model where, hey, if you want it, we're going to be printing it for this certain amount of time, so you can always get it in that certain amount of time.
There's like so many pros and cons, right? You can't appease everybody. There's always going to be the people who don't care, like who just want it to be available and they just want it to be available and they want to buy it and they want to pay whatever the MSRP price. And then there's like the other side of people who like want to collect or quote unquote invest, right? So they call it investing when the price of the cards go up, but when the price of the cards go down, you're gambling. So anyway, so whether other people who are either gambling or investing in the cards or whatever you want to call it, like they're going to be upset because those things aren't going to be worth anything. And Wizards needs to find a balance because they actually what they want. Okay, what Wizards want, don't forget, is only one thing: money, right?
Profit, yeah. You gotta make
money and profit. That's more important than anything. But you can't piss off too many people. You need the people to want to buy more. You want to be happy with the game. You want to like the products so that they will buy more in the future. But but they cannot print it to the ground because they don't piss off the other people. Like there's gonna be a huge group of people who are gonna be like, why buy it? It's like, okay, so if they do it where they print it to the ground and it's like unlimited print, the problem is they'll sell however many they'll sell, but they may not sell as much as they would if the way they're doing it now, where it actually sells out. And because there's like that FOMO feeling, people feel like, oh man, I want to buy this. I want to buy like 5 of them or however many, because there's only, let's say 1,000 of them, or 100,000 of them. And eventually over time, the price will go up because it's so limited. And that actually drives more people to buy it. But where they did it before, where it was just open orders, it's like those people would never buy it, right? And definitely would not be buying 5. So like so they would just be like, oh, I like that, I want it for my deck or whatever. I'll buy one, and I'll use it for my deck. But I would never think about buying 5 of them to hold in the hopes that the price goes up and I can sell it later, or in hopes that it's collectible, because it'll never be collectible because they're going to print like 10 million of them or whatever. And so they need that balance. So I think what they're doing is probably the best, but everyone's always going to be mad. No one's ever going to be happy. So what they're doing is they're keeping it scarce, but they are printing a lot. Right. So if you look at the last Marvel Secret Lair, like this one where Storm and Wolverine, Iron Man, like that was super high demand, sure, but it's like 6 months out or more than 6 months out, and the prices, yeah, they've gone up, but they're not astronomically higher, and probably in the future they will be, and they're gonna continue going up. But Wizards of the Coast made a ton of money, right? Because they probably printed a ton of them. The reason why the price hasn't gone up as much is because there's just so many of them. Like the demand is probably very high. Like who doesn't want Storm and Iron Man, Wolverine, or whatever? And the cards were really good. They printed Commander's Plate and Jessica's Will and Ozolith, like really good cards. So anyway, I think what they have right now is probably the best. No one's ever going to be completely happy, but they cannot go back to just the open print model. I think they actually make less money that way. The way they make the most money is keep it scarce, but print a lot. And nobody knows how many they print. So, right. So you don't know, but what just happened with the Spongebob, where it took over 24 hours for the Spongebob to fully sell out, shows that they printed a ton of them.
Yeah, they printed like a lot.
Yeah, so they're making as much money as they can, and if they print a ton, more people will have it. More people who want to buy it, those people who complain that, oh, I can't get it because the scalpers bought out or whatever, they'll have a better chance of buying it. And if they print a lot, it will keep the price down for longer, right? So we're probably not gonna see the Spongebob shoot up as much. Let me see. So SpongeBob Secret Lair right now, yeah, right? I mean, this is still pre-sale, but the sale's over on the Secret Lair website, okay? So it is okay. The problem with TCG Player, and I make this point a lot in my videos, but the average person who buys on TCG Player might not understand this, is that like these prices are going to be inflated. You can't look at this, because if you click onto one of these, look at when TCG Player says it's available, right? This date. This is very important, this date right here. Okay? Yep. So March 26th, which is actually tomorrow. So because they're considering this a quote-unquote pre-sale item, the only people who can list it on TCG Player are people who are certified hobby shops. So you have to quote-unquote prove to them, okay, whether real or not, but you have to go through some process and confirm that you actually own a brick and mortar store. So if you look, there's only 5 stores here listing this, and there's only 11 on the market right now. That's why the price is high. So once this date comes, which is tomorrow, March 26th, anybody in the world can list their products. So like you and I, if we bought this, we could list it, and that is going to flood the supply, and that's going to crash. So we don't know how much, how far, or whatever. We obviously don't know, but like you cannot take these numbers at face value. You have to wait until this pre-sale thing is gone. So I want to talk, and that segues us into the last thing I want to talk about, because we're at 43 minutes. I want to end this soon. Is Tarkir Dragonstorm. So much hype. People are loving it. It seems great. Prices are insane. Like, look at this. The collector booster pre-sale is $320, and it's been $320 for like the last week or so, ever since we made our last podcast last week, and the announcements came up and this thing shot up, and it's stayed. It has stayed at this price, about $320. But I've already said this is coming down. Some people disagree, and but it's for the same reason. Look at who's listing it. There's 18 listings, right? And there's like 300 available. Think about it. This is pre-sale, and there's already 300 available. Only brick and mortar stores can list this. Just wait until this date. Again, same thing as with the Spongebob. You got to wait till this date. Then normal people or anybody can list it. April 11th, which is the release date of Tarkir Dragonstorm. Hundreds, if not thousands more are going to flood this market. This price cannot sustain with an extra, like right now, there's 300 on the market. So this price cannot sustain with 4 times more supply. And people are buying this now. Like, look, there's sales, right? Look, it's average daily sold 57 in the last month. 57 boxes at $320 on average are being sold every single day. But it's like, okay, so, and we still have almost 3 weeks until the official release, until people can flood the market with this stuff. So what always happens is the pre-sale goes up, thousands of people, not that, I don't know, like, look, okay, total sold 1,588 so far, right, within the last month, 1,617 in the last 3 months. So there have already been 1,617 sold, and about 57 more every day being sold. By the time it gets to April 11th and everyone can list it and the supply comes in, floods in, the demand dwindles. Just the hype is over, right? But we're going to move on to the next thing, Final Fantasy. People who wanted to buy this already bought it in pre-sale and they paid $320 for it. So the demand will taper down and the supply will 4x. This is not going to stay. I'm very certain it will come back up to this price eventually if given enough time. But right after release, as with every set, this is coming down. I don't know how far down. Certainly, I think it's going to go below 300. Probably in like the high 200s.
What was the original listing price?
That's my rent. Well, I mean, like it started at like 280 and then it went down to 240.
Wow.
But the MSRP, I think the MSRP on this stuff is like, it's probably like 250 or something. I don't know. What's the MSRP of MTG collector boosters? It's $30 a pack. So if you do 30 times 12 packs in a box, oh no, then yeah, you're looking at 300. But you know, again, Magic, nobody pays MSRP for Magic products. $360 is MSRP for a collector booster. All right, well, that's all we got for this week. Good times, always good times hanging out. Next week we'll be talking about more crap. Thanks for watching, everyone. Second shout out to all those who made it this far. We're trying to keep it short for you guys. Try and keep it short. Don't fall asleep now on us. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week.
Take it easy, y'all. Peace.